The Persian Gulf 1980, a region rich in oil, on the brink of chaos. Iraq and Iran, neighbors with a long simmering feud, were about to clash. The Iran-Iraq war, lasting 8 years, would leave a lasting mark on the Middle East. This is a story of shattered lives and political ambitions. Our journey takes us to the front lines and into the homes of those forever changed. Through their experiences, we'll unravel the complexities of war and its devastating impact. Join us as we delve into the heart of the Iran-Iraq war, a conflict that continues to shape the geopolitical landscape. The strategic importance of the Persian Gulf's oil fields added another layer of complexity to the conflict. The seeds of conflict were sown long before the first shots were fired. Iran's 1979 Islamic Revolution toppled the Shah's regime, establishing a theocratic republic. Saddam Hussein, Iraq's leader, saw Iran's revolution as a threat. He feared its potential to inspire Iraq's Shiite majority. Border disputes simmering for decades added fuel to the fire. The Shatt al-Arab waterway, crucial for oil exports, became a focal point of contention. On September 22, 1980, Iraqi forces launched a surprise attack on Iran. The invasion exposed the deep-seated animosity between the two nations. The world watched as the region plunged into a full-scale war, claiming over 1 million lives. Diplomatic efforts to prevent the war had failed, leaving both nations on a collision course. The early days of the war were marked by chaos and confusion. Iraqi forces, armed with advanced weaponry, made significant initial gains. They hoped for a swift victory, but underestimated the Iranian resolve. Iran responded with fierce resistance, sending waves of young soldiers to repel the invasion. The battlefields became scenes of unimaginable carnage. Trench warfare, reminiscent of World War I, became a grim reality. The war quickly escalated into a bloody stalemate. Neither side gained a decisive advantage, leading to years of brutal fighting. The conflict became a quagmire, a war of attrition devastating both nations. Both sides employed various strategies and tactics, but the human cost was immense. As the war raged on, desperation grew. Saddam Hussein resorted to brutal tactics using chemical weapons. Mustard gas and nerve agents were unleashed on Iranian soldiers and civilians. The attacks caused excruciating pain and horrific deaths. Hospitals overflowed with victims, their bodies ravaged by these insidious weapons. The psychological impact was profound, instilling constant fear. Survivors suffered from chronic illnesses and severe trauma. The use of chemical weapons remains a stark reminder of the horrors of war. The international community condemned the use of chemical weapons, but the damage was already done. The Iran-Iraq war was not confined to the battlefields. Civilians on both sides were caught in the crossfire. Cities became battlegrounds, subjected to relentless bombardments. Homes, schools, and hospitals were reduced to rubble. The War of the Cities saw Iraqi forces targeting Iranian urban centers with Scud missiles. Iran retaliated, launching missiles at Iraqi cities. Hundreds of thousands of civilians perished and millions were displaced. Families were torn apart, homes destroyed, and futures extinguished. The trauma of war left enduring scars on both societies. The war created a humanitarian crisis, with aid efforts struggling to keep up with the needs of the affected populations. One of the most tragic chapters of the Iran-Iraq war was the use of child soldiers. Thousands of boys, some as young as 10, were recruited or coerced into joining the armies. Deprived of their childhoods, they faced unimaginable dangers. They were used as cannon fodder, their lives deemed expendable. The physical and psychological toll was devastating. Many witnessed horrors no child should ever see. The trauma left them with deep emotional scars and a profound sense of loss. The use of child soldiers stands as a grim reminder of the depravity of war. International efforts have since been made to stop the recruitment of child soldiers, but the scars remain. Behind enemy lines, tales of resilience. Even amidst the brutality of war, stories of courage and compassion emerged. Ordinary people displayed remarkable strength and humanity. Women played a vital role, supporting the war effort and keeping families together. Communities found ways to cope with the hardships of war. Neighbors helped each other, sharing resources and providing comfort. Acts of kindness became beacons of hope in the darkness. Underground networks provided humanitarian aid and information. These acts of courage and compassion remind us of the shared humanity that binds us. Personal accounts of survival and resilience continue to inspire and teach us valuable lessons. A well-divided global implications. The Iran-Iraq war had far-reaching consequences beyond the borders of the two nations. The conflict drew in regional and international actors, turning the region into a proxy battleground. The United States, the Soviet Union, and other countries provided military and financial support. The war impacted the global oil market, causing economic instability. Regional tensions and sectarian violence were exacerbated. The rise of extremist groups can be traced back to the chaos unleashed by the war. The conflict's legacy continues to shape the geopolitical landscape. The war's impact on regional alliances and sectarian tensions reverberates today. The war also influenced diplomatic relations, highlighting the importance of international diplomacy and conflict resolution. Scars of war, the long aftermath. In August 1988, a ceasefire agreement brought an end to the fighting. Both Iran and Iraq, exhausted by the conflict, agreed to a UN-mediated peace process. The war ended in a stalemate with no clear victor. Millions were dead, wounded, or displaced. Cities lay in ruins, economies shattered, and societies traumatized. The post-war period was marked by political instability and economic hardship. Both nations struggled to rebuild and heal the deep wounds left by the conflict. The war's legacy serves as a stark reminder of the enduring human cost of conflict. Efforts at post-war reconciliation and rebuilding trust have been ongoing, but the scars remain. Echoes in the present, lasting impacts. The echoes of the Iran-Iraq war continue to shape the political, social, and economic realities of both nations. In Iran, the war fostered a sense of national unity and resilience. However, it also left behind a legacy of political repression and economic sanctions. Iraq faced internal divisions, economic devastation, and the consequences of Saddam Hussein's repressive policies.